Welcome to another Quantum Conversation, brought to you by AcousticHealth.com. I'm Loren Gailey, and I invite you to sit back as we enter the quantum realm, that space of the greater part of you. It is your connection to infinite possibilities, infinite potential, and infinite mastery. And I want to welcome you all to this very sacred circle in our video expression today, as we are talking about a unique modality, a very effective modality for healing. And it is indeed quantum. It actually interfaces in the quantum realm. My guest today is Debora Wayne, the creator and the purveyor of this beautiful modality known as BioField healing. Let's welcome Debora Wayne back to Quantum Conversations.
Hi, everyone. So happy to be here. So great.
Thank you, Debora. It's beautiful to be here in video, as well as by audio for all of our listeners around the world. How have you been these past weeks and months with this energy?
Oh my goodness, right? 2019, it just started, it has not stopped. Like, who turned on the faucet? Yeah, it's been very exciting, intense, just such incredible energy out in the cosmos.
Yes, I hope that all of our community really feels the creative energies with that.
Absolutely.
And it seems like we continue to have experiences that open our hearts and require us to be in this field. And you work with this field a lot for healing. So it's just a beautiful reminder for everyone just to stay very present and aware. So as we get there, let's bring everyone into a really aware feeling in this connection, heart-based connection.
All right, everyone, let's just dive right in. Close your eyes. Make sure you're in a safe space, sitting or lying down, and just close your eyes for a moment. I want you to go inside and take the deepest breath that you've taken all day so far and fill up with the new possibilities waiting for you right now, closer than breathing. And now open your mouth and let out a big sigh. And hear the sound, your own signature sound as you exhale. And again, as you relax your belly, draw the breath up into your beautiful heart and just hold it there for a moment. And now open your mouth and let every drop go, knowing there's plenty more. And just become aware as you breathe in and out. Just notice how you feel. Be here. Notice your body. Feel the chair that you're sitting on. Notice the space around you and how that feels as it blows, the air blows across your cheek, your face. Feel the temperature and the texture of the air as you breathe in through your nose. Right now is all there is. Breathe in right now and breathe out, and be with us today fully and completely. And open your beautiful eyes.
It feels so good to be in this space. This is what it means to be aligned and to be very present. Thank you for that. Okay, Debora, the work that you do has helped so many people. When we had you on our show before, it was palpable, the rapid release of pain. And it's not just that, but it's it's all worry and fear and depression
Yeah.
and anxiety.
Yeah.
So share with us, I mean, this is something that you used in your own life and cultivated yourself.
Yeah.
Share that story with us, please.
Wow. Well, it really goes way back, and I can see how it's all evolved over time. But I really had a health crisis many, many, many years ago, and just did not know how to fix myself, and I was out of answers, and I began on a journey that led me to an experience where that I wasn't expecting and that I didn't even believe was possible. But I became aware that this life force energy was flowing through me and through my hands and was to be used for the healing of myself and other people, and that this was my highest purpose for being here. Now, at that time in my life, that was not my dream. That was not my goal. I mean, that was the furthest thing from my mind. But in hindsight, I look back now and I see how my entire life, all my interests, my hobbies, my studies, like everything was really preparing the soil for this. And over time, what has happened is that I became very sensitive to literally feeling disturbances in the energetic field that surrounds every living thing, including our bodies. And I started to get my intuition really became primed for listening, deep listening. When you release enough fear and pain and anguish, what's left is a communication with the divine. There's tons of information. And so I kept working on myself until it got quieter and quieter and quieter inside. And that's how this method was birthed. I finally got quiet enough that I recognized, wow, being fully present, you have access to tremendous information. And I had been refining my sensitivities that wasn't even aware I was doing for years from everything I did in order to be able to listen deeply, literally feel the vibration in the field around people, around groups of people, even at a distance, and to bring in these cosmic waves that are coherent, harmonious, high frequencies of healing that can be used to benefit people and the planet. And like I said, I was not expecting this, but it's changed the entire course of my life and been the greatest thing that ever happened. So, that day of crashing and burning and having a health crisis led me to my greatest chapter. And I still every day pinch myself that this has been going on and continues, and the people have these amazing healings, and it's just been really a remarkable ride.
Again, it's mastery, Deborah, and you embraced it. And it was like the pain was used as fuel. The pain
Totally.
was the gateway to this. And
Totally.
so that's so helpful for us to remember as well. For anyone who having passed through a difficult time or a challenging time,
Right.
that really is the fuel to be the best that we can be. And so I love how you just embraced it and you let it come forward. And I'm just wondering if you've ever considered a past life or maybe a future life that this has been a talent of yours, because
Oh, I'm
it's
certain.
almost like this was a trigger for you or a remembrance for you to step right into this.
I'm certain of it, actually. I'm sure I've prepared for lifetimes. I'm absolutely certain that I was a master of this previously, whatever that means previously. Um, and in fact, when I first began practicing biofield healing, I had an office here in California. And I remember feeling so frustrated because I felt like everybody should be lined up around the block waiting for this. They just should be just beating down the door, and people didn't know what it was. And I just remember this whole inner dialogue about they should be lined up around the block. And one of my early clients who didn't know me, didn't know I was thinking this, didn't know I was feeling this, she came in for a session, and at the end of her session, she sat up. She said, "I have a message for you." And she said, "I don't really know why, but I just heard that I'm supposed to say to you that in Egypt, you were a master of healing, and you took people through a particular type of initiation, and they were lined up around the block for this process that you took them through." And she said, "I don't know why, but I just had to tell you that." So I got the confirmation, but yeah, this is very familiar to me. It feels like I've been doing it forever. I probably have. And very natural for me to go. People say, "Well, don't you feel like you have to shift into this whole other dimension?" Or I'm like, no, this is totally normal and natural for me. I don't feel any contrast. It's just 24/7 available.
Well, I love it because it is in the quantum field and very interesting when, to me, quantum physics should be the hot ticket of the day, and everyone should
Right?
be lining up around the block to understand that, because when we truly do, we understand how this works,
Yes.
right? And we understand how we can really steer our consciousness and create our reality. So
Right.
again, I just want to say kudos for the work that you do.
Thank
And it's wonderful because our technology again allows us to do this over video and over online sessions. And that's what you offer. You offer the day of healing,
you.
which is BioField healing.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk about that because this is what you do on a monthly basis. It's ongoing and people can come in. And I've referred people who come, I get people who say, "I'm really depressed. Please help me." And yours is the go-to program for that,
Mm.
because we think it's for pain, but what we're going to experience in a mini session with you is this is for everything. This is such a recalibration of our internal connection to our higher self, and to me that's where it goes quantum. So I love that. Let's talk a little bit for those who are new to it though.
Yeah.
What's exactly going on in this biofield healing?
So around our body is a field of information. There's actually, when you look out into space, it seems empty, but it's filled with information. And this is vibrational information. But everything that's ever happened to you has been basically imprinting in your field. All your experiences, probably as past lives as well. But certainly everything from birth on has really affected you in ways you probably aren't even aware of. And it creates conditioning. These are learned responses. These are not necessarily in alignment with who you really are, with your true blueprint, with your original blueprint. These were, imagine like you're a magnet and lint. I always joke, it's like collecting lint. All this lint from the environment you were soaking in started sticking to you, to your field. Well, after a while you develop this personality and you have all these beliefs and emotions and ideas based on things that aren't even true. You learned them like a computer, and it all just stuck to you. The good news is in the field I can actually, well, let me back up. So the conditioned responses are a very low vibration. Fears, angers, all the things that you did to protect yourself, to compensate, um, things that are not aligned with the truth of who you are a very low vibration. And your true state is a very high vibration. And so when I go into the field and just scan the field, I can feel where there are disturbances. I can feel a literal vibration in the field and help you to release them. They drop out of your field. It's not something that it's not like you're lacking or you're sick or that you need something. You've heard this before, you're perfect, whole, and complete. Well, you really are, but you're covered with a pile of lint. So we move the lint, we dissolve it. It gets dropped, literally drops out of your field when your vibration gets a leg up to a higher vibration. And I do this by bringing in these frequencies, and they communicate to you via the field. It's the biofield is an information field that's informing your body. It's informing your mind. That information exchange shows up in your life, in your patterns, in your thinking, in your emotions, and in your body. But it's all changeable because it's all just vibration. It's just energy and information. So it's all changeable. So no matter how long you've had something or how troubling it's been, it can all change. That's the good news.
Yes, really good news for so many people who you've helped and worked with. So it's really interesting as well when we consider energy and why this energy is so healing,
Mm-hmm.
is that energy really comes from higher frequencies and is stepped down.
Mm-hmm.
So you're really making that connection with these higher frequencies.
Absolutely. I act as the middleman, so to speak, for people who haven't been able to access this on their own. And it's interesting because when the frequencies come in, people perceive them in very different ways. Some people will see colors or lights or hear sounds or tones or even music. They'll hear the sounds of the frequencies. They may feel sensations in their body. They may feel very hot or cold or both or other sensations. They may actually notice a fragrance. Um, these are the typical ways that the frequencies are communicated, that people perceive them. And we know from physics, colors, sounds, there are specific frequencies with different colors and sounds, and people are getting what they need. And it's even when I work with a group, individuals get completely different uh, frequencies that are working on them because that's what they need. And this is just what's so, I'm not sure we fully understand it yet. Even physics, they're trying to figure all this out. But the divine, there is a divine intelligence in this universe that knows exactly what you and you and you and you, knows what everyone needs. And I am just the vessel that brings it in, like you said, steps it down. It communicates with the individuals and they receive, and then it translates and shows up in the body, the mind, the spirit, the emotions, even the wallet and the waistline. I have people, their money issues, their weight issues, they've struggled for years, and these things shift, sometimes instantly.
Because of belief systems and this conditioning and the imprints. Isn't that amazing that that could just dissolve so quickly?
Well, it's so exciting because trauma is one of the biggest reasons that people have certain pain or painful issues or patterns. And trauma is just a cellular memory. It's information that got stuck, basically, that can release in an instant without reliving it, without painful, emotional drama, without going back and analyzing what happened. This is one of the most exciting uses of a method like this.
Well, we invite our community to chat with us over the chat line. We won't be able to take callers on this live stream, but we encourage anyone with a question for Debora to please go to acoustichealth.com, and on that show page, live on air, is a box for questions that you can put in the question box, and we will be answering that. I know there's people who have knee issues and all of that. What we're going to do is a group session, a little mini group session for all of us, and we'll be able to experience it. But I do want to just put that call out for those who have a question for Debora. So thank you for that. What happens with some of the results that you see with your clients?
Oh, it's astonishing. I've seen a wide range of results. Many, many people, especially with physical, chronic, ongoing pain of all types, people with 20, 30 years of pain report complete elimination. They report getting off their pain meds, and with the opioid epidemic that we have, this is huge right now to be able to access something like this. People sleep at night, sometimes for the first time in years. They finally get rid of that insomnia. Many people have worked with, so many people, it seems, suffer from anxiety and depression, grief, guilt, shame. These things lift. They report feeling like they've never felt before, very peaceful. It can start out subtly where they go, wow, I just feel a deeper sense of peace than I've ever had before. And for many people, it's very dramatic and very rapid. And they just say, I just don't even, I've never felt like this. And I finally feel like I understand what it's like to be happy and to feel good about myself. So, there's a range, and not everyone's case is different, how they will perceive it. I've worked with so many people with digestive issues of all types, a battle with food and weight and sensitivities, and um, just can't eat anything and don't know what the problem is, and nothing showing up on a medical test, or the food, they do elimination diets and nothing helps them. And in many cases, this has to do with their emotions that have been stuffed and stuck and are in that cellular memory. And this just bubbles up and releases, which is so exciting for people to finally feel free and awake and aware and free to just live and not worry about every morsel of food that they're eating. Very exciting. I've seen people with, I've worked with lots of people with cancer, all different types. Late stage, I've even seen tumors completely eliminated. We took one woman into a science lab, and literally within a month, and she was stage 4 breast cancer, and they had told her, we won't even offer you chemo or radiation because you're too far gone. And after just a month, which was only 4 sessions, the MRI showed an 82% reduction in all of her tumors. And within the following month, she was completely pronounced by her doctors as cancer-free. And I mean, this is really exciting when you see dramatic results like this. She knew in the second session, by the way, she cried because she knew she was completely healed, that she would be fine, and she was given that information. People with, everyone seems to be suffering from some kind of back pain, neck pain, shoulder pain, jaw pain, wrist pain, whatever it is, like there's pain everywhere. Mm-hmm. And this is remarkable to help people with pain.
Congratulations on the success that you've had with stage 4 diagnosis and treatments. That's really promising. I got goosebumps on that when you were sharing it. Really powerful. So it's these negative imprints, and boy, doesn't that show you the power of the higher self connection, which our higher self, our soul, is God. It's a fractal of God and source, whatever we want to call it, this higher energy. And isn't that amazing that that connection on a spiritual level is so deeply healing?
Absolutely, it is. And it shows you, as you said, it's the power of our thoughts and our emotions, and everything that we allow in is affecting us. And I always share with people, it's very important to recognize your thinking mind is a force as real as electricity. You must use it wisely, not let the horse take you down the road. You take the reins. And, everything that you allow in, everything, your experiences. Now, you couldn't control the childhood experiences, and those are usually at the root of causing the problems even late in life until we examine these things. But this is the fastest way I know of to access that hidden, buried, those memories that we can't even tap into them. It was so long ago, we don't remember what happened at 4 and 5. Many times people don't remember, but it's still affecting us. Mm-hmm. So this will bring it up and help move it out and free up, because all of those painful experiences, that's at the root of dis-ease. And it shows up in the body, and the body's telling the story of our life. The body is telling the story of our life. And everything, as you know, is consciousness. Your body is it's just telling the story of your state of consciousness. And instead of always looking at the symptoms and trying to drug it out and cut it out, we have to look at this in a completely different way. I'm not a medical doctor. I don't claim to treat or heal or cure. This is about the state of consciousness and raising that so that the false imprints drop out and we're really back in, like you said, in our divine, on that path, and keep
Yes.
evolving and growing.
Well, just beautiful there. And paying attention to our thoughts, I could ask you a whole different stream of questions on that. And so maybe when we get to the end, we can talk about, noticing those thoughts and shifting it and really steering our consciousness that way. But I
Absolutely.
wanted to talk more about the healing work that you do, because, you do lengthy sessions in the BioField healing. You do your day of healing, which are 2 5-hour sessions. And we don't have time for that in our mini session that we're going to do. What would you do in a mini session? What happens? What's that like? It's a little experience of that for us.
Absolutely. Even in a short demo, many, many people feel and have an experience that they cannot deny. They, some people actually do, just from a short demo like we'll do today. Some people have pain release, emotional release, awareness. I had a woman the other day in a very short demo say that she became aware of all her past lives that were still impacting her, and they released. So, I mean, anything and everything is possible. People get what they're ready for. And,
Mhm.
it's not about how long the sessions are. I've seen people in 10, 15 minutes have the most mind-blowing experiences where all their pain is gone, their healing abilities are activated, and their whole life takes a turn, and they're clear on their purpose and their path. And I've seen other people where it takes longer, slower. I think people get what they need and what they're ready for. Again, the divine intelligence knows. But in a mini experience, it's really quite remarkable how many people will comment that they feel it, and when you feel something, when you have an experience, you can't deny the truth of it. It's not me trying to convince you of something. That's what I love about working this way, is it's not me trying to teach you something, convince you of something. I'm just facilitating an experience that you will have, and that's yours. No one can take that from you. That's the difference between knowledge, real knowledge of something that's real, versus an idea, a belief. Oh yeah, I want to think that of that. I want to believe that, but it's different when you have an experience.
So let's have an experience.
Right.
We are ready. Awesome.
Now, I must be very clear, no driving. If you're watching this driving or listening to this driving, you must be in a safe place, because you will most likely drop into an altered state, a meditative state that's, you have to be sitting down. And if you can lie down, even better. If that's available to you, lie down on your back and just close your beautiful eyes. And I'm going to begin to scan the field. And I will guide you in with my voice and then give you a few instructions here. I'd like you to, first of all, remember there's nothing for you to do. Let me do all the work. Nothing for you to do. I want you to just relax your mind. There's nothing for you to believe in. You don't have to understand this. You don't have to understand physics or anything for this to work. So relax your mind about all this. I want you to begin to notice inside yourself. Notice what's going on inside you. Your body may actually start to move on its own. Let that happen. Or if you feel like moving at any time, you feel like shifting around or changing positions, I want you to let yourself be free to move at any time in any way. And as you go inside, you may begin to notice that you start to see something. You may begin to notice that you start to hear something or taste something. You may notice a fragrance. You may have sensations. Just notice them without interpreting or labeling or judging it as good or bad, right or wrong. I want you to just notice what you notice. There's absolutely no right and no wrong. You may even have pain come up. Let it come up. It's the energy moving up and out. You may have thoughts come up. Let them come up. You may have emotions come up. Let them come up. It's energy coming up and moving out. Whatever you notice, I want you to just notice it without doing anything to try to change it. Do your best not to label it or analyze it or judge it as good or bad, right or wrong. Just let it be there and observe it without trying to change it. Even if it seems like nothing's happening, just notice that. Or if you think you're imagining things and making it up, that's okay. Just notice you're thinking that. There's no way that you can block the healing, no matter what you're experiencing. So just allow, observe, allow your body to move, and notice. Very simple. Allow everything to be just the way it is. Observe without labeling. And notice what you notice. And we're going to take another minute here in complete silence. Just let yourself relax and enjoy the experience, no matter what it is. And you'll hear my voice in a moment when it's time to come back. Now, very, very slowly now, just become aware of the sound of my voice. And very, very slowly now, Begin to deepen your breathing. Notice yourself becoming more alert, more awake, more aware, and staying very, very relaxed. Take a deep, long, slow breath in and out now. Feel yourself becoming more awake, more aware, more alert. Begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes now and take another deep breath all the way in and all the way up and all the way out and come all the way back, awake and alert, refreshed and relaxed. Take your time and slowly, gently open your eyes and let the light come back in. Wide awake, alert, refreshed.
Absolutely refreshed, alert,
All
and connected.
right.
I would love to read some comments from
Yeah.
people. So I invite our community to share anything that you felt. It was beautiful. This is such a deep inward connection when we allow. First, it was like a cool blanket,
Mm.
and then the energy just kept building,
Mm.
almost like a pulse.
People say that they feel a pulse sometimes, or they'll feel the vibration, and they'll describe it in different ways. It's very interesting. Yeah.
Yes. All
So
right. So,
I should tell the listeners too, the viewers, that the two most common things that occur for people that are surprising, that's a sign that you're perceiving and receiving these healing frequencies, are pressure in the head, like a headache feeling that can come out of nowhere, or even nausea. These are the top two things people will experience. And there's nothing wrong. Don't reach for the aspirin. There's nothing wrong. You're actually feeling the contrast from this high vibration that you're not used to, and it feels like pressure. It can feel like a headache.
very interesting.
And
Very interesting.
they'll integrate it usually pretty quickly. And
Mm.
then that higher vibration becomes your new normal. And you won't notice it. It will just, but you may notice something else changing or leaving that you didn't want. Yeah.
Yes. I'll just share really quickly here. Self-criticism came up for me.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a big one for so many of us. The
Yeah.
voices in the head are not too friendly. And again,
Mm.
that's back to our conditioning. We took it in, we believed it. Now we repeat it. This is, what I teach people on the day of healing as well, like how to listen and not believe everything you think. It's really old and it's worn out and it's not serving us. And it's time to throw it out
Yes.
and move on.
Good riddance.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk as we wait for some comments to come in.
Yeah.
Let's talk about your day of healing.
Okay.
These are immersions, and it's a great way. You do it every month, and it's a really great way for people to come in and have this good time with you.
It's a deep dive for those of you, especially that have a really busy life and schedule. This is a great way to go very deep, very quickly, all in one day. And we start in the morning. We break it up into two sections. So we have a morning and a late afternoon. So no matter where you live in the world, there's a time where it shouldn't be in the middle of the night and you'd be able to get on the live call. And it's designed for helping you to quickly find and remove the root cause of your pain, your patterns, and your suffering. And when I say pain, I mean any type of pain. This is not just for physical chronic pain. This could be the pain of relationships that don't work, the pain of debt and financial pain, which so many people seem to be suffering from, the pain of, um, the battle with the weight and the food or the digestive issues. It could be the emotional pain, like trauma or from your past, if there's been abuse or neglect or uh, addictions of some kind in your past or your present. It could be the pain of anything physical and emotional, the depression, the anxiety. I work with people with panic attacks and afraid to leave the house. So any type of pain is welcome. And everything I teach, the day of healing is a combination where I'm going to be teaching you. I'm going to be taking live callers and helping them get unstuck. So if you feel stuck, it's a great day to get unstuck. And we're going to have 2 full long BioField healing sessions, one in the morning, one in the late afternoon. And all of that helps you rapidly bring up the things that are hidden from your view, that you're not aware of, that maybe go back to your childhood, or that you've just suppressed because you didn't want to feel it or deal with it. And this is the kind of thing that will come up. We have what I jokingly say, we have an emotional tsunami sometimes because we want these things to come up and move. And it's on the day of healing, it's such an immersion into a collective field that everybody is fully committed to healing and to being there to support each other. You're going to be blown away. The people that end up, on the day of healing are all meant for each other. There's a theme that shows up. Everybody's issues, when I work with one person, it helps everyone in the group. You're going to find things you didn't even know were going on with you based on the other people as they share. It's just a remarkable day. It's my favorite event because I'm intense, in case you didn't notice, and I like to go deep and go fast and like do as much as we can in as little time as possible. So this is the day for that. Yeah.
Beautiful. Okay, so those you do those every month, right?
Pretty much every 4 to 6 weeks max. So yeah,
Okay.
regularly, and just just love doing them. Oh, and I forgot to mention the there's a homework assignment that you get during the break. So it's not like you just go, leave. Ideally, in a perfect world, you would take the whole day off. It's just one day and stay the whole morning, then do the homework at the break, come back for the afternoon evening session. Now, some people aren't able to do that. So we will be recording the entire day. So don't feel like if you have to miss part of it or even the whole day, people benefit from the recording. Some people like the recording better. So we will be sending you the replay. And we have a lot of people usually from out of the country that attend. And so sometimes it's the middle of the night. And so you'll get the recording, but the recording is just as powerful. And I should also mention, not everyone's in pain that comes to the day of healing. Do you know that if you just want to expand your consciousness, you want to really have the experience of your intuition coming online. You want to gain greater confidence in listening to that intuition. You want to connect to the cosmos. You want to know what all this talk about quantum and cosmos is. You have a great chance of having a multi-dimensional experience from the BioField healing sessions and from everything that I'll be sharing. And you're going to be soaking in this field of information all day with this, and then again with the recording. So people come that are not in pain, and I'm telling you, it's incredible. People have they've had downloads with inventions and books and ideas for businesses, and oh my God, just such creativity gets ignited and activated. So don't think you have to be suffering to benefit. I think the fun begins once we release enough of your pain and then use this to access the super consciousness. That's, to me, that's the ultimate.
Yes, it's accessing, once we drop that baggage that's
Yes.
causing the pain and the suffering,
Yeah.
then we open up to so much more. It is so beautiful. We are really in the quantum field, the
Totally.
unified field.
all the time.
And it's amazing. You're right. And I've seen this in events that we do here too.
Mhm.
The groups that come together are meant to be there together. It's quite miraculous.
Remarkable, isn't it? It's just
Mhm.
proof, that we live in a vibrational universe and it's being orchestrated through divine intelligence. We are all just resonating and coming together, those that are meant to be together, that have a similar vibration, or that have a, that would contribute, that are alike. You've heard the saying, like attracts like. It's so real and practical, and this is a great example of how that happens. It's just every single time. It's just quite astonishing to watch. um, it's beautiful. Yeah.
So beautiful. All right. So the next day of healing, when is that coming up?
Oh, I should know that date. What is, let me look at my,
Let's see. January 31st is today.
thank you. It is. I thought I had it in front of me, and you know what? I don't. I can go get you the date.
Well, I just want to let those who are interested know that it comes often
Yes.
and you can register for that. You will get entrance into that.
Good.
It's really a time to retreat. It's a personal retreat, like a virtual retreat.
Totally.
And you're in that energy all day as long
Oh,
as that is open. And it does get embedded, encoded in
uh,
those recordings.
yeah, absolutely. It does. We get so many comments from the recording alone. It's really, it's very powerful. And you're in the comfort of your own home. You
Mhm.
can literally just bathe in this all day. In fact, many people go into a full-blown healing session just from the sound of my voice, because I carry the frequencies. So it comes across through sound, as I mentioned, and some people just will look at my picture, my image, and even a photograph, and they'll start to have a full-blown experience. So if you can take the day off or part of the day and just put the do not disturb sign on the door and allow yourself to have an experience that you really can't predict. It may really surprise you, especially if you're very analytical and you like to figure things out. I love that. I'm a thinking kind of a girl, but you may be very surprised at what's possible for you on a day like this. It's usually the skeptics that have the most profound experiences, so I welcome all skeptics as well. You don't have to believe in this or really understand it for it to have a huge impact on your life, your health, your happiness.
Yes, that which we all want and want to improve, and happiness, and oh my goodness, the
Mm.
abundance and the smaller waistline. Would be wonderful too.
Everybody wants that smaller waistline, don't they?
Yes. All right. So I want to address a couple of questions and comments coming in. Tracy here in Colorado asks that if this can be used for stress in feet. My daughter, she says, is a gymnast with stress reactions in both feet at the college level. Does this help with that?
Absolutely. See, again, this method doesn't treat symptoms like you normally think of. Your body is holding pain for different reasons. And but your body is a mass of vibrating particles of energy, and the energy gets disturbed. And what this will do is release the disturbances and smooth it all out to bring a harmonious vibration. And that may translate into the feet, the hands, the back, the neck, the wallet, the waistline, because everything's energy. So absolutely, I've worked with so many people. In fact, on the call right before this morning, I was working with a woman who had numbness in her hands and feet. It's very common. And a lot of times it actually relates to emotions as well. In your daughter's case, it's probably, from the repetitive movements and the everything. I was a dancer, so I can relate to this one in particular. But this is truly the best thing you can do to most rapidly get your body back from imbalance into balance, from dis-ease into ease. So I would highly recommend that she attend. Yes. And she'll probably get much more than that she wasn't even asking for or expecting.
Yes, I mean, how special that spiritual connection is. And it's just this awareness of the energy. We've had some people typing in that they heard frequencies
Yeah.
in this,
Yeah,
right?
you may hear tones or sounds. These are frequencies that you are perceiving auditorily. I'm very auditory, so I hear them all the time, and especially when I work on people. And it's just fascinating. Absolutely fascinating.
Hmm. All right. And so there's a couple questions. Does this work on the ancestral issues?
Oh, great question. I love this. So, the answer is yes. It's actually one of the highest purposes. When you take the time to work on yourself in this way, you're never just working on yourself. You are freeing up the patterns of information that have been passed on for generations. So, yes, you're working on personal, you're working on your personality, you're clearing for the lineage, and even better, you're actually helping every single being on our planet, because when we do this, we're adding new information into the collective consciousness, which makes it easier for the people who are sound asleep, who could care less about healing and BioField healing. They're just not interested. But it makes it available to them because everyone, whether they're conscious of it or not, is part of our one conscious field. And they may be unconscious, but they're tapped into it. And this will create a ripple effect that everyone will feel on some level. And it helps everyone on our planet wake up faster to who they really are. So this is never really just about you. And it's part of your higher purpose for being here on a call like this, for doing this type of work. It's a very high calling.
And that's why we thank all of those who watch shows like this for
Yes.
doing this work, doing this inner work, because oh my gosh, that's the purpose. The purpose is to amplify our love. And all of these challenges
Yes.
are lessons in love so that we can return to love. And
Yes.
so I just love that spin on it. And, you know, it's just so luscious. I call it luscious
It
when we
is.
do this work. It might not be easy at
Yeah.
times, but as you said, we don't have to relive these traumas to
Yes.
let them go.
No, they're just, again, that's why the lineage question is so potent, because there's always one person in the lineage chosen to do the work. And the
Usually the
reason,
black sheep.
yeah, and they often are singled out. They may appear to be the sick one, but
Crazy.
whoever you are, and the person who asked that question is probably most definitely that person, you were chosen because you're the one that has what it takes to do the work. You will do the work. You will not give up. You will just be relentless because you want healing, and it will end up helping everyone. So it's a beautiful calling. I know it's not necessarily an easy uh, road to get there, but it's worth every ounce of effort that it took, and all the pain as well.
And I just love again how it's centered on the breathing and the breath and this supreme presence. And when we work with that, it's so beautiful and it does raise our vibration and it changes the world. So we thank all of you for raising your vibration. And Deborah, again, I just want to thank you for stepping into it, stepping into this mastery and embracing that within yourself.
Oh,
Okay, here's
pleasure.
another question.
Yeah.
How outside of the biofield healing do you suggest healing of past traumas?
I'm not sure I understand the question. How outside of biofield healing? Repeat the question.
Let's just simplify that to say, how do we, how far back do we suggest healing past traumas?
Well, so if past trauma is affecting you in the now, it doesn't really matter how far back. The fact is, it's affecting your now, and all healing occurs in the now. And so BioField healing definitely helps people who have been traumatized since birth or before birth, or the mother was traumatized. I mean, on and on. And the trauma from a lineage is passed on through all the beliefs and the actions and the attitudes and the emotional climate. So it doesn't really matter how far back the trauma has been. This will help you to bring it up and move it out. And I wouldn't get too worried about how long you've had it, where it's from, how far. Like, now is what matters. And this is the most potent modality I've ever studied or experienced or practiced in 33 years of working in the health and wellness area. And I've never seen trauma released so quickly in my life. Now that's, I can't guarantee that everyone's trauma is going to be gone in one day, but for a lot of people it is. And for most people, it's at least a very solid beginning. And they feel so good and so different that, I'd be surprised if you don't really recognize, oh my God, I can change. This does work.
That's beautiful because, as star seeds and light workers, as you mentioned, we tend to come into this lifetime with some pretty big baggage.
Yeah.
And so I know, talking with people, when we talk with others who are going through a tough time about forgiveness and
Yeah.
trying to get them to forgive,
Mm-hmm.
there's a resistance there, because how in the world would we have ever created something so heinous in
Right.
some instances? And so this is where this healing just cuts to the core of that. And it really assists in that person being forgiving, but first just doing what it needs to do to heal. Child abuse, sexual
Exactly.
abuse.
Well, that's the thing. There are reasons to be upset and angry. There are reasons people resist and don't let go. And that's what I help you realize, is that you don't need to jump to forgiveness. It's important to actually allow the emotions to release, which will naturally bring you to forgiveness. And this is the most rapid way I know of to clear, heal, remove the trauma, the things that have been done to you that were not your fault, that you've experienced. We came here to have all kinds of experiences. Some of them are not fun and not pretty, but it doesn't mean you have to carry them into 10 more lifetimes. We can release them now, learn from them, and move on. And you will find forgiveness becomes so much easier and more natural when you're given a safe space, which is what we provide in the Day of Healing, for everything to come up. All of your thoughts, your memories, your emotions, it's a safe space for it to come up and move out, and a hand to hold if you need some help because you're afraid to feel it, which a lot of people are. It's scary to go back and relive trauma, especially if there was abuse or neglect or violence. Nobody wants to go muck around in that, but we have to. It's something we don't want to give our power away to. You don't have to be afraid of it, because when you resist it, it's never going to leave. We want to become a master, a fearless. We don't want to forget the past. We just don't want to keep the trauma from the past. So I help you. I will and do help you. Let it come up. Learn how to let it go. I'll help you let it go. And you'll be free. And isn't that what we really want? Freedom.
Mm-hmm.
Freedom to be
Yeah.
unlimited.
Yes, it's new earth, it's new liberation, and this is new creativity as well. And we don't get to take the baggage when we go to new earth. New earth is a frequency, and you are helping people be liberated from the lower frequencies. I love it. You are simply a facilitator, a
Absolutely.
channel. It's like you're channeling these frequencies,
Yes, that's
right?
exactly it. I finally accepted that after years of, it's so funny because years ago I wanted so badly to be a channel, when way back in the early 80s, when all of this really started to come up for me. their trance channeling was so popular, and I was just mesmerized by it, and just dreamed of this happening to me. Well, it never happened, not even a drop in the bucket. And yet, fast forward to today, I realize I am, and it's a different form, and I'm very
Mhm.
conscious, but it is clearly a form of chant. This is not Deborah. Believe me, this is not Deborah. This is not my personality. This is something really vast and great that came in as a result of preparing the soil, and I'm honored to channel it and bring it in and share it with as many millions of people that are open to receiving it. And it's just so exciting what's possible. I just every day just so grateful to be living in this day and age, even though we know there's a lot of turmoil, there's a lot of things going haywire, and people very stressed out by it all and reacting to what we see and hear in every area, politics and education and finance. I mean, every area, but
Mhm.
all of it, as we've been talking about today, has a gift, all of it. And we are learning to become the eye of the storm, not knocked around by every storm, but the eye of the storm that stands still and lets the storm whip about you, but you stand firm. This will
Mhm.
help you with that.
Yes, we can already feel that today. I want to share as well that, we each had something come up for us. And
Mhm.
um, this person, JOC, on our YouTube channel says, I've been doing a lot of inner child work, and my inner child came and snuggled with me.
I love that. I love that. Yes. Say hello to your inner child, make friends, and tell that child you'll never leave him or her again. You
Yes.
are there.
It's a deeper connection with ourself. It's one that returns us back to unity
Yeah.
and wholeness.
Right.
And that's really embodiment when we
Totally.
talk about embodiment. So, Deborah, I just think it's going to be beautiful when there's people out there that speak of this and this becomes the norm,
Yes.
right? This is
Oh,
where our
what a
world must get conscious. We don't even call it spiritual anymore because it's
great.
conscious, right?
Exactly. It's energetic. You know, people get all worked up about the word spiritual, but you don't have an emotional reaction to the word energy. Energetic, spiritual are the same thing in two different languages. And
Yes.
unfortunately, so many people have been, they've had bad experiences with religion.
Mhm.
And this has affected their reaction to things like this or to the word spiritual. And this is open to anyone and everyone. It requires no belief. You can believe whatever you need and follow whatever path that feels right to you. Everyone's welcome here. This is truly one for all and all for one. And there is no more unity than right here with this type of work. It's just living proof that we're all one, we're all interconnected. This is science. This is science. We know this from physics. We're all interconnected and everything is energy. And this is how we use it in a practical way
Yeah.
to change our lives. So we're not trying to escape life. We can actually embody life, embrace life, and have a fabulous experience here, not wait to escape.
Yes, we're not escaping. We are embodied here. Yes. Okay. All right. Here's a comment, and I'm sorry, I do not know who this is for. Oh, this is from Alyssa Jane. And this is interesting because we've been talking about this recently. When we feel the trauma of Gaia, Mother Earth,
Mhm.
are we holding, do some of it, the question is, do some hold the trauma of Gaia as the initiation and gift of healing these traumas for Gaia and everyone?
So some people are more sensitive than others to other people, to the planet, to Gaia, to, to emotions. Just you're more aware and getting information that you're calling, holding on to the pain of it. You're not required to hold on to it. But you may be. In fact, this is what I find when I train my practitioners, they almost all suffer from this. They feel the pain of everyone and all their clients, and they feel the pain of the earth, and they feel the pain of what's going on the planet. So yes, you may be definitely helping to release for those that are unconscious or unwilling. And what is more than likely happening, though, that I have found in myself and in other people over the years, is that you're just beautifully sensitive to the pain that's in the earth and in other people, and you have not learned to release it properly. And so your body is a big biofeedback machine. It's giving you feedback, but you're holding on to it. So again, the key would be to learn, which is what I teach you, learn how to release it, not hold on to it, because you'll be a much better helper for Gaia when you don't hold on to it, but still have the sensitivity that you can help process it.
Okay, that's good. I know so many of us want to assist the planet.
Yeah.
In my neighborhood here in Colorado, sadly, we've got fracking,
Yeah.
and I literally feel that in my body, the sadness of that. And
Yes.
this will help with that.
Absolutely, it does. And in fact, I've even trained practitioners to work on Gaia. We can use this method to work on bodies of water, on
Mm-hmm.
crops, on land. It's not just for people or animals. So yes, there's a huge impact. And if you take it in, you have an effect, an impact on everywhere you walk and every person so you want to work on yourself and learn to release this pain. And then you will be able to impact others and the planet itself as well when you restore harmony. Yeah.
And that's what this energy work does. It's restoring harmony and
Oh, yeah.
balance
Yes.
and from the higher frequencies.
Exactly.
Beautiful. Okay. I
Mhm.
want to make a mention that your special offer for the Day of Healing, that's almost half off your normal price. I want to thank you for that. That is available on the special offer button that's on this webpage. You can go to acoustichealth.com/special offers/BioField and access that special offer with Debora Wayne. And all right, Randy, our brother Randy,
Mhm.
would like to know FQAD. Can you help with my DNA damage and pain?
Well, absolutely. I mean, again, I don't treat specific symptoms, and this is a completely different understanding about how health and healing works. But um, so many people. I mean, I've worked with literally hundreds of thousands of people in 150 countries who are in pain. And if you've ever read any of the success stories, which I believe you've even have some on your page, on the on the name of the special
Yes,
offer page. I couldn't think
sure.
of the term for a moment. Um, I have story after story of people that have written in or sent me videos sharing that their pain is gone.
Mhm.
So you're no different. I realize it's very common to wonder, well, why am I still stuck? Why do I still hurt? I've tried a lot of things. Most of the people I've worked with have really tried to work on themselves a lot for a long time. I'm sure your audience the same. They're not new to this, or they wouldn't be on a call this advanced in thinking. So you're aware of healing. You're aware that that's possible. But so don't think you're stuck. Just know that you haven't gone deep enough yet to find the root of why it's showing up as pain in your body. Your symptoms are never the root of the problem. And in fact, I forgot to mention that on the Day of Healing, I am going to just give you the top 13 reasons that lie at the root of all pain and suffering. I'm going to be teaching you those, sharing those, talking about them, and you'll get a handout that you can print out, and you'll find yourself on that list. There are only a handful of real reasons that start at the root and show up later as pain of some type. So there's no reason in the world that you can't heal unless you don't show up.
Yeah. Again, it's getting to the root, and that's not always so easy
Yeah,
for people, but this energy work assists with that.
totally.
And so FQAD, Randy, I'm sorry, that was a drug that you took for MS, I believe.
So I've
And
worked with a
so
lot of people with MS. I should mention this. I've had people from the day of healing, one comes to mind right away, who had been in a wheelchair her whole life, and she got up and walked after the day.
really,
Yes. You see, again, whatever you've learned about the label that you have,
or blamed.
it's just a vibrational pattern that you're carrying, and it's expressing in the physical, but it's a vibrational pattern. These labels are not always helpful, in my humble opinion, for people because it makes them believe in disease, and it
Mm-hmm.
gives them proof, and it gives the disease power. There's only one power in this universe, and it is not disease. Disease isn't happening to you. It's expressing as the result of the thinking mind, the emotions, the choices, the imprints in the energy field. And when we work on those three areas, the mind, the emotions, and the energy field, the, the physical must change. So I've worked with lots of people who were on drugs that they had flu shots, they had vaccinations. They've reported, they had paralysis and all these really extreme things that happened as a result of certain drugs, side effects from drugs. Um, I've worked with people who flew into Agent Orange and, were in the military and just exposed to lots of toxicity. People with mold exposure, all kinds of people who had injuries and accidents, and they had extraordinarily bad consequences. And I've listened and watched them talk about their healing, and I've seen it with my own eyes. So I know it's possible. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and don't give up, don't stop. You just know that you haven't found the right step-by-step way to move it out and interrupt the pattern and change the pattern that you're expressing.
That song by Peter Gabriel, "Don't Give Up." That's
That should be my
that's
theme song.
the operative word.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Patricia is wondering what can be causing lightheadedness.
Right now or anytime, many things could be causing it, but the question implies that you don't like it and you want to get rid of it. And so on some level, most likely you're resisting it and fighting it, which will actually, and you're afraid of it, most likely. It's a little difficult. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but since I can't speak to you, I will give you my educated guess here. So you're probably resisting it and afraid of it, which most people are when things feel funny or uncomfortable or not right. We get afraid. The unknown is scary for people, and this is again why most people can't fix themselves.
Mm,
They sit at home alone trying to figure it out. I hear this all day. I've tried to figure it out. You won't figure it out. You're afraid of it. You don't understand it, which increases the fear, which makes you resist it even more, which makes you tense up, which is the root of disease.
mm,
So what's happening is there's some kind of vibrational disturbance that's uncomfortable. It could be even emotions. I'd have to ask you more questions or work on you with BioField healing, but I know it can change. I can promise you that it can change. And there are many things that could cause it, but getting bogged down in the why isn't the solution.
Okay. I know. And, there's things, ascension symptoms and dizziness is part of that. Lightheadedness is part of that. And I love what you said there about not resisting it. Don't go into that fear, right? So,
Yeah, it will pass through you, and I can teach you how to release it and how to listen to it and find out perhaps what it's trying to tell you or do for you, or just how to release it and get back into comfort and back into ease. Um, that's really the key. Yeah.
beautiful. Yes. Okay. Last question here from Katie. So, Katie had a car accident in 2002 with whiplash,
Yes.
and she's healed different layers of the body, but some still
Yeah.
exists. So, is there something to do with this? Is that again this emotional imprint?
Well, it's very common. I've worked with so many people with severe accidents and
Hmm.
repeated car accidents and head injuries, et cetera, et cetera. And what happens is there's a cellular memory. It's usually the trauma of the actual event that when it occurred, what happens? We freeze up, we hold on, it doesn't release. And so I can help you to release what's hidden from your view. Many people were hospitalized. I don't know if that's your situation, but I recently worked with somebody who had a massive head injury in an elevator, where an elevator literally hit him in the head, and they put him in a coma and under anesthesia, if that's your case. Lots of times there's emotional trauma that gets stuck when you're under anesthesia, and so people heal but they don't fully heal, and they can't figure this out, and nothing's showing up on medical tests. And this can come up in release with BioField healing. It's why I'm so grateful for it, because a lot of times these things don't show up on any kind of test, so they don't even know what's wrong or how to help. And especially when I hear about these lingering the leftover pain or trauma from an accident, I've had such success with people suffering from that. So just know your body is wired, your brain is wired to keep you alive, but not to keep you happy. And you got through the worst, but now we have to get you back to ease. And you probably survived it by actually denying and suppressing and repressing something from a scary bad accident.
Hmm.
These emotions get lodged in our bodies, and that's how we survived it. We got through it by shutting it out on some level. So we'll move it out.
Yes, move it out. Allow the frequencies to do the work. It's the light that's doing the work. I love
Exactly.
it. Okay. Well, there's a question here about the special offer. No, it's not just available today. It's available in this archive. It's available on this show. The special offer, whenever you join, you will be in Debora Wayne's next day of healing with BioField Healing. So again, we invite you to check that special offer out. Debora, as we say goodbye, is there anything else you want to add about that day of healing?
I think the most important thing I could leave you with is, it's very easy to worry and wonder and think and think and think and overthink, but nothing changes without action. And I know, especially those of you who have done a lot to try to work on yourself and heal, and it's easy to be skeptical. That was my story. Years of trying things and nothing worked, or it worked a little, or it didn't last. So although I don't claim to be God and wave my magic wand and you get everything you want, I don't misunderstand. But I have seen nothing short of what we would call miraculous healing. Uh, and this is a great place to start, and to stick your toe in the water, and you'll know if you resonate. You'll know if it's for you. And I would just love to help you. So take my hand and allow me the gift of helping you get to a place that you can't get to on your own. And thank you for being here today.
Beautiful. Again, as more of this becomes mainstream, these examples, these testimonials, these case studies will become the norm. As we recognize quantum physics, there's already Quantum University that speaks to exactly what you're teaching on and how it does, this connection does heal and it does bring about well-being. So again, I want to thank you for that, for being so bold to step out and do it and make it your life mission where it truly helps people.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you for saying that. Thank you.
Debora Wayne, thank you so much for this quantum conversation and this mini session of BioField healing. We can come back to this recording and experience it again, and those can immerse themselves in your day of healing. Thank you so much for being here.
Pleasure. Oh, thank you, everyone, and thank you for inviting me. And just such a gift to be here, and all the help, all the people you're helping in the world.
And likewise to you. And so to everyone in our community as well, thank you for shining your bright light and raising the vibration of the planet. And Debora, thank you too, Goddess. It's been my pleasure. Thank you.
Everyone.
All right, here is the page where you can see Debora Wayne's special offer. Check that out at acoustichealth.com. We also invite you to register for all quantum conversations and sign up for that newsletter to be aware of all of our online healing retreats and mastery empowerment courses. Thank you for being here. Now it is time to dance our way to the cosmic heart. Thank you for listening to this quantum conversation, and thank you for dancing with us to the cosmic heart. As we raise our own vibration, we raise the vibration of the planet. This show is dedicated to you and all awakening hearts, as we are here to shine our bright light and amplify our love. Access all quantum conversations, special offers from our guests, and online healing retreats by visiting acoustichealth.com. I'm Loren Gailey, and from my sacred heart to yours, I honor your magnificent love and light. We leave you now with music from the universe. Music literally created by the universe as musical notes were assigned to mathematical equations. The result is this beautiful music available at acoustichealth.com. Namaste.